here we are. Okay, so let's take a look at our itinerary. I went ahead and updated Kerbal Alarm Clock. We've got filter lists to current vessel. It's got new features and stuff. Isn't that fun? Okay, the next thing that needs to happen is we're going to send a ScanSat to the moon. We have that one is going to use a Woomera 3, and we're going to launch it in 2 days and 5 hours, unless there is a launch delay. The VAB2 is cooking on the next, that life support module that I was speaking of earlier for the space station, which that'll use a new type of rocket, which I haven't showed you yet, so I am looking forward to that. So yeah, that's the plan for this episode. I want to get 2 launches done. Yeah, okay, we'll just take a look. All of my Woomera rockets, they have the same format. They're all 3-stage, all liquid-fueled, no solid rocket boosters. I did that because I wanted them to be able to, if I put together some sort of a manned vehicle, then I wanted to be able to use it, and I don't want to use solid rocket boosters with anything that people are riding in. All the Woomera rockets, the first stage, are powered, they're fueled by kerosene and liquid oxygen. I went ahead and I changed, this is actually something different from what I was doing before. All my engines now are tech level 5, except for the mainsail because it only goes down to tech level 6. Yeah, so first stage is kerosene and liquid oxygen. Second and third stages are liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. And the upper stage has a probe core and a couple of solar panels, just enough to keep the thing powered long enough for that upper stage to deorbit itself. Okay, here is a ScanSat 3. It's already loaded to the Woomera, so pull that one off and just put it over here. ScanSat, it's got a whole bunch of batteries. This, like the first versions, they tended to run out of juice, so we gave it a whole bunch of batteries. It's got solar panels, it's got lots of antennae to talk to radios and stuff. And let me see, oh, is that, I forgot to change the tech level on that one. You know what, it's too late. So it has a good it has a good rocket engine on it. And yeah, and these are all the ScanSat is powered by the Aerazine 50, yeah, the Hypergolics. And so we put all 3 of the ScanSat sensors all on this one mast, which I like the way that ends up working, and one little small docking port up top in case we want to attach something else to it. And we see the thing is, I made it, it's large, it's 3 tons, and the vehicle itself, take a look, it has over 5,000 meters per second of delta V. I wonder what happens. Let's just take a look here. I forgot that I put this together before I made the decision. Well, it's still got over 5,000 if I change that tech level 5. With no change in mass. Alright, good. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Here, let's close this. We're gonna save it. Save it just so it's all internally consistent. Total delta V this is what the mod, yeah, this one, Transfer Window Planner. Total delta V to get from Kerbin orbit to Duna orbit, 4,479 meters per second. This satellite has enough delta V to take itself to Duna. Back on there like that. Good. Alright, save that. So yeah, that is going to be our first launch. So let's get out of here and let's go fast forward until it's time to go. Yep, I did the little random dice roll thing, and this rocket will be delayed a mere 2 hours. So, you know, at the moment this stuff doesn't really matter, but just if I just keep on doing it, eventually we could run into a situation where it really will matter. We're setting up rules for potential drama to come, you understand. All right, more fast forwarding. Let's go. Rename it, but not save the rename. Moonscan. And just while I'm in here, just remind myself, what's our first low orbit that we want to be taking a look at? Altitude min 10 kilometers. Minimum best is 7,500. Max 500. I always forget this stuff. Altitude max 500. So we want a low. Yeah, we want the low altitude below 500 kilometers. It's kind of disturbing me. It doesn't say what's best. So we'll just go for like 250. How about that? And then we'll go and do the high the high altitude stuff. I imagine Bob Kerman is probably feeling somewhat apprehensive about this launch, wondering exactly what's going to happen, but don't forget, the man does have a fair degree of just natural, his own curiosity, and he does want to learn. So, here we go for science. Very long and pointy rocket. We like long and pointy rockets, right? Of course we do. Because the next launches, yeah, the next launch out of VAB2 will be the one space station component, and after that, I want to get 3 Kerbals into orbit. Go dock to that space station, get these guys some experience in space. Okay, let's see if I managed this correctly to see if that'll pull away. Yes, it is. That works nicely. And we're just about to hit 80 kilometers. Let's go ahead and ditch those. Yeah, so this one, we're going to put this one into orbit. We're going to send this to the moon, and then the next thing for VAB1, our vehicle assembly building that works with our small rockets, we're going to pretty much do exactly the same thing with Minmus. So that's the next 6 launches for VAB1 already scheduled. We'll need 5 ComSats for Minmus and 1 ScanSat. Pull that one off of there. Watch that stage go flippity away. Looking kind of funny. Okay, a 200-kilometer orbit. Well, okay, there's 200-kilometer apoapsis. Let's go ahead and wake up all the systems on this thing. Or not all the systems, our antennae and our solar panels anyway. We're not going to wake the ScanSat antennae until we get to the moon. I really like doing these solar panels in a 3-way symmetry just because it looks cool. I understand there's probably good reasons why that isn't the most efficient or most effective way to do it, but I don't know. I'm a big sucker for doing things because it looks cool. Alright, there we are. Close enough. 145 meters per second remaining in that one, so let's get rid of our upper stage. Get over here. And just turn it around. I guess really I don't even need solar panels on this thing. I should simplify this. Point it this way so our exhaust doesn't hit that. And it's going to re-enter. And there is my ScanSat. Yeah, 5,000 meters per second. Pretty cool, huh? So, let's see, it'll come around, be right around over here. We'll add a maneuver. Again, I'm going to be putting this guy into a polar orbit around the moon. Okay, right about there, and then we'll do a second maneuver node after we do that, and we'll see how that works. There's my comm array. Yeah, you can see my three ComSats around the moon are not yet in their perfect 120-degree separation. We're getting there though, eventually. I know it's not realistic. In reality, they make them they look like their boxes. They look like window air conditioners. That's what real satellites look like. I don't care. I want mine to look kind of long and slender with the gold and the three-way antennae and 3-way solar panels. Basically, I want my stuff to look like something that'd be at home in a cheesy sci-fi movie, you know? Yeah, look at this. Estimated burn time, minute 33. This still says 2 minute 5. This has always irritated me that the stock estimated burn widget is wrong. I like watching that right as the node went from negatives to positive. Right at that moment, our node burn time over there was right at 53 seconds. So this gives me more confidence that we're measuring correctly. Because you'd think, you know, that node burn time, minute 46 seconds, that, you know, cutting that in half to 53 seconds, so that should be a simple enough mental arithmetic that I should be totally confident in it, but I screw stuff up like that. I screw up stuff that simple all the time. So it's encouraging me to double check it. Oops, alright. Okay, well that actually worked for us. Yeah, I went just a hair over. Okay, that works. Okay, so we'll come over here. When we'll look where I can look at the moon and look at this maneuver node at the same time. Go like that. And if I also go like, whoops, like that. Oh, there we go. Pretty close to polar. There we go. Ooh, okay, that's perfectly polar and really close to my target. Yeah, to my target altitude. So we will leave it there. We can do some fine tuning later. Good, that works. Close enough. It's really right around there. We'll be doing some more fine tuning. We don't have to get that one exact right now. Right about there. Perfect. There, we'll see if the alarm clock will slow down properly for this sphere of influence change. It's been kind of intermittent. I'm trying to figure out what makes a difference, why sometimes it's slowing down and sometimes it isn't. Oh, it looks like it isn't. It looks like, bam, yeah, we just slammed straight into a pause without doing the intermittent slowdown, which makes me nervous. It's starting to look kind of messy. A whole bunch of orbit lines all over the place. And we're burning. Yep, right about there. Good. Let me see, this is the lower altitude one, right? Yeah. Start that radar scan. Scansat altitude. Ideal. Oh, isn't that nice? I like it when things are ideal. And this, you can see, there's no features within its that it can resolve at this point, but there it is. It is scanning something. So it is working. Isn't that fun? So my Kerbals, under the direction of Bob Kerman, they are going to start learning things about the moon, and they're already making plans. This was one of the reasons why they started putting a space station together, was to have a place to assemble various facilities that they're going to start sending to the moon. It is a point that rather upsetting to some people, that remember in this storyline, only 2 Kerbals have set foot on the moon, and both of them died there. Nobody has ever actually set foot on the moon and returned. Bill, Jeb, and Bob, they landed a vehicle there, but they didn't get out. And in this storyline, nobody has... okay, we landed a robot. We landed one little lander bot. What is this? I suppose I should take a look at that. Moon tracking station. Yeah, we landed one little lander bot on Minmus, and that's it. Nothing else has gone there. Here, let's track this thing. See what's going on with that. Whee! Alright, but it's going to miss Kerbin, right? Yeah, it's going to miss Kerbin. So here we are with a little bit of post-commentary. I unplugged the microphone because I anticipated this just being just another launch of just another comm satellite. The same thing happened again. The first stage shut off way too early. We're missing a whole bunch of liquid oxygen. I don't know why this is happening. The rocket did not sit on the pad for any great amount of time, so I mean, it's just there a few seconds before launch. The third stage didn't even reach orbit. Spent a few seconds kind of waffling. Should I just let this one go? Just let it fall? Know that my Delta V reserve for sending this thing to Minmus is already kind of tight. Then I thought, you know, no guts, no glory. Let's go ahead and try it. Watching those hundreds of meters per second of Delta V disappearing out of the tank, kind of nerve-wracking. But we did get it into orbit. started looking at maneuver nodes, trying to figure out a way to get an approach with using the absolute minimum of delta V. And here is our doing our transition burn. I think I've got the plan that'll work. Just sneak up on it, trying to get this burn done as precisely as possible. And here's an irritating thing that happens sometimes in Kerbal Space Program when the game can't decide whether you have an intercept or not. Eventually, it decided that we do have an intercept, and started spending some more time with another maneuver node. If I wanted to put this thing into a fairly low orbit, I did not have the delta V for it. Eventually came up with a maneuver node that looks like it'll just barely work with almost no reserve. In 10 days or so, we'll find out whether it works whenever that satellite gets there. Okay, so now we're here back with the live commentary again. I'm going to take this ScanSat long. It's going to have most of the, for the low altitude, the low resolution terrain projection. It'll have that done. And then we'll just kick it up to a higher orbit to do the higher resolution. Okay, close alarm. Maybe Station Module 5 launch. Been looking forward to this. I wanted, not so much for the station module itself, as that is extremely simple and really kind of forgettable, but for the rocket that I put together. I want to show off this Marathon 15. Yeah, okay. It started off as an exercise in what was possible with taking a radially attached procedural part and making a cone shape and making the thing angled over, and it just working from the initial idea. I ended up with something that looks kind of like what would happen if a Delta IV and a Soyuz had a baby. I kind of like it, and I want to pattern a marathon series after this, a series of rockets. Here, let's pull this open and set that to the side, just so we can take a look at what's happening. So this, yeah, this is the payload right up here. So actually, if we can just take that off and just see there's our payload. Just a couple of our converters that turn carbon dioxide into oxygen and waste into water, and a whole bunch of life support containers that hold a whole bunch of food, water, and air. And we'll put that back on there. As our upper stage is something very like the earlier DART series. It has fueled by the aerosine and the nitrogen tetroxide. It has docking ports. It has RCS to control it. It has extendable solar panels. Again, it's a larger, more capable version of the earlier darts. The actual launching system itself, here we have the central core. It's actually got it's got a little engine for the size of the thing. It's got the skipper down there. This entire central core is full of hydrogen and liquid oxygen. The two radial boosters using a couple of mainsails, and those are fueled by kerosene and liquid oxygen. So we actually do have all three different fuel types represented in this one vehicle. And I like it. I named it the Marathon because this central core, it runs for a long time, Marathon, because the central core, yeah, we ignite the engine at launch, and that central core, it just keeps running all the way up until the thing is very, very nearly into orbit. We actually start off, I figured out the way that this works, because this thing has a low sea level specific impulse that we backed off in the thrust on it, so just enough so that it'll keep the 1.3 thrust to weight ratio at launch, and then I figure when this thing reaches about 40 kilometers of altitude, then I'll right click on that engine and throttle it up all the way, and we get more delta V out of it that way. Okay, cool. Let's load a fresh Station Module 5 now that I've messed with this one, and let's launch the thing, huh? Okay. And I'm thinking that as this series of rockets expands for heavier and heavier payloads, and we'll experiment, we'll put like 3 radial boosters. Once we actually put 4 on there, then it'll start to look like the Soyuz. Let's see, where is the station? Our station is back there, so we actually I want to aim for a slightly higher orbit than 300 kilometers. Is what I want to do. Okay, pull my FAR window up, pull this up. And anything else I want to do? Oh, that's right. Let's just check fuel levels here. Just because the previous problems, you know? I'm all paranoid about that now. This all looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, it all looks good. Okay, let's go. Yep, 1.3 thrust-to-weight ratio. Launch would pick up a little bit of speed, airspeed. I think of it, vertical speed. It's in this case, it's the same thing. Roll over there and put east up top because I like reading the nav ball that way. It's really the only reason. Looking forward to some soon coming time the version 1.0 of the game will be available with, and they say that they'll have a revised aerodynamic system complete with Mach effects. And so I believe that this type of gravity turn is something that people playing the stock game are going to have to learn. I'm looking forward to that because the type of gravity turn which is efficient and effective in the stock game is frankly ridiculous, and I kind of don't like seeing it. It seems unfortunate to me that we have so many people that think that that is a natural thing to do. So it'll be kind of difficult. It'll be a difficult transition for some in having to rebuild the rockets because all the parts are getting rebalanced, and having to relearn how to fly their rockets because aerodynamics will start to make sense instead of being nonsense. So, but after that transition, it'll be a time of much more attractive and sensible spaceships. You know, much better looking rockets. So I have to say that seems like a net positive for the game. Mach 3, let's see, we're starting to approach to 3 Gs. Tell you what, let's go ahead and throttle back now. Throttle back to 2/3. Alright, change that to orbital. Come over here, click on this, thrust limiter. Get that all the way up there, good. And continue our gravity turn. 60 kilometers. At 80 kilometers, I'm going to ditch the payload fairings. These things, they weigh like 3 tons because they're huge payload fairings. Because at lower altitudes, the payload creates more drag, and at higher altitudes, the mass of the fairings themselves is more of a problem. Nope, here we are. All right, get rid of those things. And I like the way that works, just because the way they just naturally rotate off of there. No separatrons, no perfectrons are necessary on those radial boosters. They just naturally separate perfectly. And there's KSP back there. So yeah, Marathon. It is a rocket. I like this one. Honestly, the Woomera series that preceded it, as it seemed to me as it's functional, but maybe not quite so cool. This one, I like the design, and I like the way I can anticipate expanding it. I've got another version I've already designed where if we don't need the upper stage to be quite so capable as this one with the docking ports and the RCS and everything, where it just uses a hydrogen-fueled simple upper stage. That one I'm calling the Marathon L for long, then, because it ends up being slightly longer. Okay, apoapsis above 200 kilometers, but remember I'm aiming for like 350 here's about. All right, here we go. And there it does its avoidance maneuver. Pull that thing back out of the way. And we'll throttle up. Okay, 350. Here, let's go ahead and open these up. Right about there. And let's go for some circularization. Oops, hang on. Okay, we'll fine-tune that a little bit more. And there we are. Okay, so there is a big life support module for the space station, and we've got a docking node which is centered just directly between those, which is where I wanted it. That makes sense to my mind. Yeah, that's good. So that's going to be there. We'll put a big habitation module up there. And this docking port will have the larger truss structure on there. Cool. And this looks like this is working. Okay, this looks to me like a fairly decent end to an episode. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff coming up, but that'll be for later. So it's been fun. I will speak to everybody later. Goodbye.